gentle stretch today. If you were not in the mood to work out, that is a-okay. Just try and get some movement into your spine is better than nothing. If you don't have time or don't have time to work out, if you've got the holiday blues, that's fine. But these are just some gentle stretches that you can do at least to get some movement in. So I started with the spinal ones, rotation, lateral flexion, flexion extension. You know how to do those. I've shown you how to do them many times. And now we're just starting gentle stretches from the top of my spine all the way down to the bottom. We are going to start with cervical extension, so hands behind your neck. You're just going to be lightly grasping the nape of your neck, pulling back into extension. This should feel really, really good. There might be some tightness or some stiffness if you have any neck issues. If you do, you can see me. But so a little bit of discomfort is fine, but it should feel really, really good. Even anybody that might have neck problems, this is going to help open up all the discs. So I'm just clasping my hands behind my neck and then pressing against my spine while simultaneously extending my neck. So we do about anywhere from 5 to 20 of these. And you can, again, go at your own pace. I like to go nice and slow. Just opening up that disc space in my neck. Kind of like a little massage. Very good. And then, when you feel happy, with some relief, we are going to do, I didn't even talk about how I'm sitting. If you're not comfortable cross-legged, you don't have to be cross-legged. Whatever's comfortable. Propped up against the couch if you need to be. This one is going to be, so this, I call this the shoulder depressor. If you have a loved one in the house that wants to help you with this one, it's a lot easier. So they would just press on one shoulder and then peel your neck away from that shoulder. So my shoulder can depress on its own. So basically just grasping that neck, feeling that stretch on this side of the neck. Of course, we'll do both sides. So this one is just going to be one big stretch. We won't do reps. We're just going to be holding this. And you might notice that this stretch gets easier. That means your muscles can relax some, and you might be able to pull deeper into that. You will also notice if you move your neck around a little bit, like if I look up a little bit, that's going to activate more in the front, less in the back. If I look down, it's going to activate more of the posterior muscles. So you can kind of play around with that and see what feels best to you. So we can do each of these for about a minute. And when we're happy with that, let's roll our shoulders and do the other side. So if you have a loved one that wants to help intensify this stretch, they would just press down on that shoulder. I'm just going to let my shoulder hang down naturally. And I am just gently stretching my neck to this side, stretching all of this musculature. If I look down a little bit, that brings the stretch more forward. That's going to bring it more to the back. We want to hold these for as long as we can, as close to a minute as possible. A minute goes by really slow when you're holding a deep stretch like this. Make sure you're taking nice big breaths. And if this gets easier, that might mean that your body is ready to go deeper into the stretch. Okay, do a couple shoulder rolls. Next thing we're going to do is our praying mantis and our chest expander. So that one, so you can do a chest expander a couple different ways. You can press out into a door frame. I don't have a door frame at mine. I actually do. It's right up here, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to stay where I am so I stay on camera. So you can press into the door frame, focusing on those pec muscles, or you can squeeze here. So this is what I'm going to show you. This is the chest expander. So we'll work on those pec muscles. Just a gentle squeeze. Focusing on here. Just don't try and stress the shoulders. Just nice and gentle. 30 seconds to a minute is ideal. And when we feel nice and stretched out there, the next one looks very similar. I'm going to show you which one finish up. We'll do 10 more seconds here. And then this one, we're going to transition from this into our praying mantis. So this one I'm going to turn to the side to show you, hands together, elbows together, how far up can you go. So you're squeezing through your back. So it's an oppositional stretch. Show you what it looks like in the front. Hands together. So for chest expander, it's like this. Praying mantis is like this, and it's like, how far up can you go? Some of my patients are way better than me, and they can get their elbows all the way up to their forehead. I am not great at this. This can be very uncomfortable. So just go gently. If you do it regularly, you'll get better at it, as with anything. I can't see you guys. So this you feel in the back, whereas the chest expander you feel in the front. This is called our praying mantis. Very good. This one is the hardest one for me. The time goes by very slow. And as your body loosens up, you might be able to go up higher. I can, but I'm gonna work today. That was hard, so shake it out. Now we're gonna do some low back ones. So the first one, I'm gonna do just because it's the only one that's not seated. Yeah, actually I can do a seated version. If you have any knee pain, this won't work for you. You'll need to go to the standing one, which I can show you really quickly. But this is for hip flexors, so as like muscles. So what we're going to do, so you're on your knees like this. Let me just tilt this camera. It's just when you're stretching on the floor and then you have to stand up, it's like, oh man, so I want to try and keep you guys seated. So legs at 90 degrees, and then this leg, important, see how my toes are flexed? Don't flop them in extension, flex them. And you are going to tuck your pelvis and stand up really tall. You should feel the stretch in this leg. This is the stretch leg. Stretching through the front of the thigh. If you can't feel it, lift your hands up. Then you should be able to feel it. You can tilt forward a little bit, but you want to make sure that your pelvis is still tucked into flexion. The more you tuck your pelvis, the more you're going to feel this stretch. Feeling it in this thigh. We want to do this one for a good minute. So, if you have any knee problems, you can just put something padded under that. That will help. But if you need to do a standing version, you're just going to put your foot, show you guys really quick. Just put your foot on any elevated surface. Tuck that pelvis and lean into that. So again, feeling it on this leg, feeling it on the same leg that I showed you from the kneeling position. So stretching that front quad, all your hip flexors. So I guess we should switch. Yeah, let's switch. I'm sure it's been a minute. Time goes by really slow on your something. We'll say. So we'll switch to the other side. Make sure the back foot, my foot, I'll show you, is in extension, not flopped on the ground like that. If this is too intense, then you might need to flop your foot back, but you should try and have it flexed if you can. And we're tucking our pelvis. The more we tuck our pelvis, the more we can feel this stretch. anterior front thigh. Okay, you guys get the gist of that. It's been a minute. And now we are going to do 2 more. Now, I'm going to talk about this again. I'll talk about this at the end, but for now it's fine. We are going to do a little bit of back extension. So you can sit on a chair, you can sit cross-legged, whatever's comfortable for you. This is from like the bra strap or the middle of your back where your ribs kind of come together at the end, or they end. So low back, we're just going to be focusing on, and you really can get this motion just from your pelvis, so tilting and untilting your pelvis. So just a little bit of motion in that low back, extend, pressing it into extension. If you have a spondylolisthesis, do not do this exercise. So cross-legged is harder to do actually. So you might need to sit on a chair. I'm just going to do it in this position because it works well for me. So tilting and untilting that pelvis. Into that, in and out of that lumbar extension. This is one like in the beginning where we just do reps. Gentle little reps. You can hold an extension if you need to or like to. And then releasing. So just going in and out of that extension. And we'll do about 20 of those. And then we're going to end with one last stretch for a good minute. It is everybody's favorite stretch because it's like a little nap. Child's pose. If any of you have a hard time getting on the floor, you're not on the floor now, this child's pose essentially is the same. If you're lying on your back in bed, you can try and bring your knees towards your chest. That's essentially also child's pose, but child's pose for us, or for this demonstration purposes, see how my feet are together? My knees are wide. Important. Feet together, knees wide. I am folding my body over. I don't know if you guys can see. Folding my body over. Yes. Folding my body over. And my neck and everything too. Into a child's pose. I just don't like to, so you guys know, you get the gist of it. I just don't like to hold it and talk to you guys when I'm all huddled over. So that is an oppositional stretch to what we just did. So child's pose, let's pretend I'm in child's pose. Child's pose is lumbar flexion. And then what we just did with the pelvic tilting and lumbar extension. So those are oppositional stretches, meaning they work the opposite muscles. The easiest explanation. So when you guys are done with child's pose, come on out of that. The oppositional stretches like this one that I did, chest and praying mantis, and then the lumbar extension and child's pose. Those 3 groups, those are oppositional stretches working different opposite muscle groups. Not everybody should be doing these. If you have a chiropractor that has taken x-rays, they can guide you onto which of these are not good for you. For example, I mentioned lumbar extension exercise. If you have a spondylolisthesis, or you should not be doing it, or child's pose if you have, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm getting all, so if you have a spondylolisthesis, you should not be doing lumbar extension. If you have hypolordosis, you should not be doing lumbar extension. If you have hypolordosis, you should not be doing child's pose. Kinds of things like that. Some of you might not even know what those things are, so that means that you don't probably have a chiropractor, or you don't know what your spine looks like. That's okay. Oppositional stretches are okay to do if you don't know any better, but you can get very specific by going to a chiropractor just to see what you should or shouldn't be doing. For example, some people have a curvature at the top of their neck that would dictate they should not be curving one way versus the other way, and kyphosis and stuff like that. If you have those issues, you would know not to be doing those. But they're just basic general stretches. Sometimes should be avoided if you have specific issues that you are working on. So I wanted to mention that. Other than that, just good little stretches for the spine, nice and loosey-goosey. It's about 20 minutes, so pretty easy. Stuff that you can do if it's raining, if it's cold, if you're just in a bad mood and you're having a rough day and you don't feel like working out, at least get these stretches in. Hope you liked it. Hope you get something out of it. I will see you next week.